What's rocking? I still have the mark of the beast, but it's not so bad for those of you who don't know I had cataract surgery. And that's why I've got these cool Tom Cruise glasses on. We're talking funnels, evergreen funnels. Are your funnels evergreen? Well, this is an interesting one because my funnels, I didn't really focus that much on. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I didn't focus. No, it's actually my asthma. I have problems in the morning. I didn't focus that much on evergreen funnels most of my career because my funnel consisted of having all my offers in an autoresponder and it would just send them out and it mixed in content. However, if you want to sell a bigger ticket, let's say you want to sell mid tickets, a $200, $300, $400 product, then just sticking it in an autoresponder series does not really fly because it takes more than just one or two emails to sell a $200, $300, or $400 product. You need a sequence of emails, and that's why we have a funnel and not just blasting out different products with URLs. A funnel is a pre-planned selling sequence. Now, if you hate the word selling, it's a pre-planned sequence to make an offer to a customer or a potential customer that they are predispositioned to accept. There you go. Now, because people say, oh, you don't need funnels or whatever. Well, no, they're wrong. They're wrong because if you want to sell, especially like mid tickets, you need a pre-planned sequence in order to make that offer and predisposition the potential buyers to make a purchase of it. I've not done this most of my career. Most of my career, I would just, again, I have a lot of products, put them up an autoresponder and just blast them out. But most of those products were under $100. When you cross 100, I think you need a little bit more of a pre-planned sequence. You say, well, Marlon, what's this all about? Well, there's a couple things. The customer needs to understand why they need your product or service. They need to understand the benefits of it, what it's going to do for them. They maybe need some use cases. They maybe need some illustrations of it in use. They maybe need to know how customers are using it, how customers are succeeding with it, those types of things. And then they need a reason to buy now, a reason to buy today, preferably without blatantly obvious fake scarcity, right? So how do you begin? Let's just go through the steps then. Let me see if I can pull up. Yeah. There we go. Step one to your evergreen funnel is you got to lead it off with your lead magnet. Now, you know about lead magnets. Lead magnets are nothing new whatsoever, but they do provide the way that you kick off that funnel. So, for example, I have my product, how I sold 70,000 plus products online. And that's available at marlonshoes.com/70K, marlonshoes.com/70 with the letter. Okay, so that kind of kicks off my funnel there. Now, let me tell you the mistake I've made and one that I have to correct. So, more traditionally, I thought of funnels as that initial freebie and then the OTOs, the upsells, right? And that's when I thought of a funnel, that's like a prototypical Russell Brunson funnel, simply because he's trying to liquidate the cost of ads, which is how the funnel originated. His concept of the funnel originated, right? But that's not what it's all about. I mean, so people opt into my 70K report. I present them with a couple upsells. I present them with a couple OTOs. But you know what? I'm really missing the boat. You know, unlike other teachers of the craft, some people call gurus. A guru is just a teacher, right? I call it a teacher of the craft because marketing is a craft. Most other people don't admit their mistakes or the things they screw up on or the things they do wrong or were in error about. I just never was much on a sequence behind the freebie. I just have the OTOs and they're on my list, and boom, now they get my broadcast emails. But I don't really think that's the optimal way to do it. I think the optimal way is they opt into my how I sold 70,000 products. So the logical thing then is a course. Now I have to think through the course name, right? Because I can't sit here and say how to sell 70,000 products and sell that course, because that's in the US, the that's not going to fly with government bodies who regulate advertising, because it's not indicative of average results. You're only allowed to promote or talk about average results. So, of average customers, the average customer never implements a product. You know, I got all these books. Now, these are not my real books. The real books are actually behind the fake books because the real books are a freaking mess. But, you know, you buy a bunch of books and don't read them, right? I mean, we all do that. Well, same way with courses. The average person, they get a course, they read it, they go through part of it. They're like, okay, that was good. I'm going to save that for a rainy day, and they move on with their life, right? Unfortunately, these governing bodies of advertising don't take that fact into account, which I think is extremely inordinately unfortunate. I think it should really be, what is the result that people get who actually implement the course as given? Let's see what those people do. That, to me, is what's fair. Regardless, we got I need to have a product that's more like high volume info product sales, right? High volume info product sales. I mean, I think that's legally defensible, because if you're ever in court and they're like, the guy's like, well, I buy high volume info product sales and I just had 2 sales. Well, sir, before that, how many sales are we having? 0? Well, I'd say 2 sales is pretty high then, wouldn't you, sir? I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying no legal advice here. I'm just thinking through this. So anyway, high volume info products. So they opt in. How I sell 70,000 products. Now they're going to get a series of emails for high volume info product sales. Now that's actually a nice funnel. And so they get some emails educating them on why info products, why high volume, why have higher volume, why versus just sell big tickets, because a lot of people are just like, screw info products, just sell big tickets, right? I think that's going to change because they are cracking down now on coaching programs some. Yeah. So I think that's probably going to change. I think people may go back to lower dollar info products and actual funnels. So anyway, they opt in. Now they're going to get this series of emails about high impact or high volume info product sales. And at some point, they're going to get a deadline, and it's like die or buy, right? And that becomes your funnel. Now, that can be automated, and you have to use fancy something or the other kind of to automate that. So then what I do is I'm going to make it evergreen. So I'm going to create a little pop-up, right, that says, free report, how I sold 70,000 plus, products online. And legally, I don't even know if I should be saying that. I mean, it is what I did. It's not an implication that others are going to do the same whatsoever. But I might should just call it free report, you know, my 3 biggest secrets, 7 biggest secrets of how how I sell the high volume of info products online. I'm just thinking through this, right? Brainstorming. All right. So anyway, they opt in. It's a pop-up on my site. They go to one of my sites, they go to one of my pages, and now they opt in. And now they're going to get my marketing sequence, right, for that product. So maybe they get a webinar, maybe they just get emails, maybe they get a video sales ad, or maybe they're just driven to the sales page, you know, that kind of thing. Well, that's it. That right there becomes a pretty nice little evergreen funnel. Now you have to build out, what are you going to put in the emails? What's the strategy behind the emails? What's the sequence of the emails? Exactly. How are you going to do the countdown timer? When are you going to do the countdown timer? Where are you going to place the countdown timer? How long is the sequence going to be? When are you going to use the countdown timer? How long is the countdown timer going to be? There are a lot of questions there to answer, but that's the basic layout of it. All right, let's go ahead and see who's on today. We haven't checked yet to see who's on live. All right, give me a shout out if you're on. Let me know your name. Let me know what's up today. If you have any questions, if you have any comments on it. Are you using evergreen funnels? If not, why not? Because if you want to sell these mid tickets, and this applies to big tickets also, but big tickets, you're probably got to do, some kind of webinar, or you don't have to. I mean, I sold you can sell $1,000 book with just a sales page. I did here recently. 168 page book for $1,000. Great book. Incredible book. All right. Hey, Eric, what's up, dog? Eric's a long-term customer of mine. He's very experienced doing trainings and live streams. He does them all the freaking time. And he's a great candidate for really, really, really being able to monetize his knowledge. Because if you have knowledge, why not put it in a can, so it can just be cloned and sold over and over and over, instead of having to teach it live. Live is all the time. I like doing these little live streams in the morning, right? But it makes sense to have evergreen funnels and sell a productized things with your evergreen funnels. Then, of course, you got to figure out, okay, so where's my traffic going to come from? How am I going to get people into my stupid evergreen funnel? You got all these little issues. We'll talk about some of these on other videos, right? It's never been easier than today to create products, though. It's just never been easier. In the history of the world, creating info products has never been easier. Selling them is probably more the challenge now, or the bottleneck now, just because there are so many products out there. So the selling of the product now becomes more of a challenge, and it's what I'm putting more of my focus on in terms of helping people and assisting, because the creation of the products, you got Kajabi, you got Teachable, you got Learn with Thrivecart, you got all of these amazing, incredible resources that just make it so freaking easy. Eric, since you're on, I'll give you one. I didn't invent this idea. I got it from somebody else, but apparently the person doesn't like to have their name mentioned in attribution. So I'm not going to give attribution. If you don't want your name mentioned in attribution, I'm not going to give it. Right? This is just, or maybe I'm wrong, but that's the feeling I got from a few things they said. So, the idea is you just take some of your trainings that you did, or a training or multiple trainings, and then you just take and you can chop those up into shorter pieces and make them your product, you know. And I've thought about that. I've got some trainings that I did, trying to think of a good one. Like, I'll tell you one that I'd like to do this with, my strange ritual. I think I did that as just a report and a live training. I can't remember now. I need to go look at the product. But I could take that and chop that up into like smaller videos and steps and make a little course out of it. It'd be really, really nice. Drop it into Kajabi or Teachable. Or, I mean, I use Thrive Architect. It doesn't look as great in there, to be honest. I use a little, I don't know, I can't remember the name of it, where you click, it's got the steps there and you click it and there's the video then will show below it. It looks okay. I think that like the Teachable looks a lot better for that kind of a thing, or other programs, I wish that they would create a little thing where you could have little, side vertical menu, but for some bizarre reason, they refuse to do it. I don't understand that, or don't get it. But regardless, I don't know if Learn has that or not. I think the issue with Learn is on that the last I looked, I couldn't just pop in my S3 URL. You had to get an embed code. I ain't got embed code for it. And then you got to go, how am I going to embed this stupid video, right? Those kind of problems. So, but anyway, it's never been easier, simpler to create products. So the challenge today is more selling them and then creating an evergreen system to sell them. All righty, that's all I got for today, guys. You all have a great day. Eric, thank you for joining me. If you're on live, type live. If you watch our replay, type replay. Watch the bitter end, type bitter end, and let me know. Until tomorrow, you all have a great day.